What's up, people? It's your boy Profection back again for MGTOW 2. This is probably about my third take on the second video, because there's a lot of stuff to say. You know, I think before I get into my ramblings, all I want to say is that, you know, it really is about being real. It really is about being real, and I think that we're scared to be real, especially as men. You know, but the reason why I don't mind being real is because I've come into contact with a lot of fake people, and to be honest with you, I was quite disgusted by them. You know, and I've always been a rebel. You know, maybe it's part of my mental health. You know, I've always been some sort of rebel. So if I see something that's wrong, even if I walk into a room and there's 20 people and they're doing something that's wrong, I can't. There's something in me that says, listen, you can't be a part of that. And it means that I get singled out. People then don't want to be around me or this or that. But I can't, if it's in my heart, if it's wrong, then I have to talk about it. And what's made these videos so hard, this second part hard to do, is because I'm going to have to describe, I'm going to have to say a lot of things, and I have to be honest on both sides. I can't come on here and strictly say women are this or women are that, because at the end of the day, it's on both sides. The evil is within men, so it works on both sides. Okay. Right, so let's get into it. Sometimes you'll hear some of the MGTOW men use the term simp, which means simpleton. Oh, they're simpletons. What they're really referring to is their logic of the matrix, where it's saying to you that blue pill men mean men that are trapped in the matrix, and they just don't see certain things, whereas a red pill person will sit back and they're kind of, now their eyes are opened up, they're seeing things they didn't see before. Remember, I was talking about worlds. Now their world has changed. Now they're woken up now, and all of a sudden they're able to see things that they didn't see before. You know, but they use the term blue pill because there's certain men out there that are still trapped in the matrix, that are basically playing a game. And my phone's going off. 1 minute. Right. So there's basically certain men out there that are still playing. Wait, this is annoying. Hello? 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 Bloody hell, mate. Right, so, yeah, where was I? There's certain men out there that are playing the game. And playing the game basically means that they're walking up to women, they're saying to a woman, oh, you look really attractive today, and they're still always giving. They haven't woken up and said, wait a minute here, why am I always giving, kind of thing. I haven't got anything back. How many women have I complimented today, but yeah, I'm going to open the door for a woman and she's going to look down at me and kiss her teeth? Or, you know, I said hello to this nice woman at work, and she looked down at me like I was nothing. And where's the respect gone? Where's this morals gone? So the blue pill men don't see those things. They refuse to see it. They refuse to see it. They strictly see it as one way. There's some blue pill men where they'll look down on us red pill men or the MGTOW men, and they'll say, right, the reason why you're not getting girls is because you're weak, is because you're this, because you're that. You know, you need to grow some balls. All you need to do is go out there and do that. Yeah, you lie, but you know what? Everyone lies and all of that. But that's a sellout mentality. If you're saying because they lie, you lie, you've sold yourself out right there. So that's the difference between your simpleton and your red pill man. You know, there's some people out there that some of the guys out there, like, this goes into my previous video, and this is the hardest thing I have to say. When I said to you, what is this, the reason why I mentioned bum, slanderer and sellout is because some of the blue pill men, the reason that they're getting by with women, remember I was saying to you that this is MGTOW's about good men talking about bad women, right? The reason why they're against the whole red pill thing is because they've totally sold out. There's certain men out there basically that they are using women for money, you know, and it's and I want to be kind of clear on this. I want to be clear on it. It's not a case where these men are poor or they're in financial difficulty. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about making a living off of women, because certain people are going to think it's directed at them. It's not. They're making, you know, realistically in life, just because you're a woman doesn't mean that when a brother's down you can't help me. You can't help a brother get back on track. Yeah, a relationship is 50-50. If I'm down, you should be able to help me. But there are certain men out there that are strictly going from one woman's house to another, taking. And if remember when I described to you about the bum mentality thing, that's kind of a bum as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to be harsh about it, but I have to be real about it. You know, even if these men got back on their feet, they would still be taking off of women, because, you know, that's what I meant by a bum, someone that takes. And these women after a while probably do click onto it, you know. Then there's your kind of sellout that is willing to sleep with his best friend's girlfriend, sleep with married women. So of course that these blue pill men are going to come on here, these simps are going to come online, and they are going to turn around and say, oh, these guys are weak and these guys are this, these guys are that, because you sold yourself out a long time ago. That's why these things are there. And then there's obviously really attractive men that have it slightly easy. They don't really have to work too hard. You can watch videos on YouTube about the laws of attraction. You know, women were saying, oh, I had an argument, well, not an argument, I had a debate with someone the other day, and they were saying, oh, they didn't understand the laws of attraction. There are certain people out there where naturally, because they're quite attractive, they don't have to do too much with women. You know, they don't, playing the game just doesn't really come into it. So the whole purpose of the simp thing is that it's referring to blue pill men. You know, it's referring to blue pill men. Men that are still trapped in the matrix, still walking around worshipping women, and haven't realized that the tides have turned. You know, we're no longer on equal grounds now. It's heading more towards women, and we're kind of beneath their feet in a sense. You know, the red pill men. And sorry, there's another thing I wanted to say, because I've spoken about some of there are some people out there that are broken in my eyes, certain men that have been broken. They've been broken because they've been in relationships with women, and they found out that 3-4 years down the line that the kid isn't theirs. Maybe they found out 10 years down the line that their woman was always cheating on them and their children aren't theirs. They're broken. These guys are angry now, so they're going to cheat on as many women as possible, or they're going to preach nothing but kind of hatred towards women in general. And they're going to go around and they're going to use as many women as possible. Even when they come into contact with women that are just as innocent as they are, they're still going to say, no, they're all the same, and they're going to kind of abuse the living crap out of that woman. And then all of a sudden that woman wakes up one day, and all of a sudden what came first, the chicken or the egg? You're kind of creating it. You're creating the environment in which you kind of don't want to be a part of, or what you despise, you know. Whatever. There's also men out there that they've been married, the woman's dumped them, she's taken the kids, she's thrown him out. When he's tried to get his life back together, she now wants child support, a large amount of child. It's drama for him to see his children. He walks into his house one day, and all of a sudden that's another guy trying to play dad of his kids. You know, all of these kind of things have happened. What else is there? There's men out there that are in abusive relationships, because don't think that it's just men that can be abused. There's women out there that are abusing men as well, psychologically abusing them. They are being, I said, domestic violence doesn't just work for men, it works for women out there. For women, it works out there for men as well. There's certain men that are in emotional blackmail. They're trapped in their certain relationships. So there's many things that can cause a man to be red pill, and there's many things that can cause a man to still remain on the blue pill path with women, but on a destructive path where they're just using women. But so much stuff, so my brain's getting all jumbled here. So the point I'm trying to make is that It's not a man versus woman thing where all women are evil or this or that. The MGTOW man is just basically men that have woken up one day and said, wait a minute here, the tables are turning towards women. You know, we still have to open the doors for them. You know, in the last 6 months or 5 months, the amount of women that I've opened the door for and have looked down at me in disgust, the amount of women that have been at in the supermarket and we put our shopping on the conveyor belt, whatever, and I've grabbed some sort of tray in order to say, right, you can go after me or whatever, and I didn't know thank you, no nothing. The amount of, you know, so it's got to a point now for most of the good, decent men that are red pill, where they still have to be respectful, although they should, because that's the way they've been raised by their mothers. You know, they still have to be respectful, yet when they're going into nightclubs, they're still told they can't come in, but yet women can. You know, they're still told, they're still having to pay for meals, things like that, and then at the end of it, the woman will walk off and say, right, thank you, but you're just not my type. They still lose custody of their kids. Remember, we're talking about good men here, so there's some men that are capable of looking after their children. You know, the woman still gets custody of the kids. The kids are around all kinds of things. The mother might not be, you know, not be fit, you know, fit to look after children. They still, what other things are there? They still, some men allow women to beat them, to physically punch them and this and that, and don't fight back because that's what they've been told by their dads, their mothers. They still go on to dating sites and they may get one reply a day. They're on dating sites, they're filling out they're sending multiple messages, they get one reply a day, yet a woman is a lot less attractive than he is getting hundreds of messages a day. You know, and obviously that the hundreds of messages a day that these women get, especially when they're not that attractive, let's be real about it, is men just really wanting to sleep with them. But some women out there don't realise the logic behind that and assume that they're somehow better than these men that are just getting the one message a day. So basically the red pill men have woken up and have seen certain things and said, wait a minute here, the tide seems to have turned now, you know, for the good men, not for the ones that have sold themselves out. The time seems to have turned now, and it seems like it's just not in our favour anymore. It seems like unless we choose to sell out ourselves, then we stand no chance of being with a woman, period, whether she's good or bad, because most of the good women are taken, you know, and they're taken by players or bad guys. I feel sorry, personally, I feel sorry for the women where at 15, 16 years old, some players met them. Maybe the player was even older than them, 3 years older, and that player said, wait a minute here, this is an innocent, I got an angel here. So what he's done is he's impregnated this woman, and now at 25 years old, she's got some sort of stalking husband or stalking ex-boyfriend that's trying to control her due to the kids. And I feel sorry for women like that, because they really, their life was over before it got a chance to kind of blossom, you know, to bloom. I do feel sorry for those women, but then there are certain women out there where they're well aware of what type of guys they're going for. They know what type of guys they're going for. They haven't been trapped. They chose to have one kid with that player. They chose to have kids with the second player. They chose to have kids with the third player. You know, so you made your bed and now you have to kind of lay in it. But getting back to the last thing I was saying, if I can remember it, that yeah, there's certain good guys that have realised, red pill men, that realised that, wait a minute here, the odds just aren't in our favour anymore. And they haven't decided to come on the internet and hate on women and say every woman's this and that. There's some really nasty videos out there hating on women hard, and they're forgetting that their mothers are women. Regardless of how society is, you know, you should always still have respect for women, but there's certain MGTOW men now that have decided, right, I got to start looking after myself now. Sex ain't going to be on my mind every 6 seconds, and if it is, I'll control it. I'm going to start looking after myself. I'm going to work on my career, work on my financial stability, probably going to most likely get my own house. I won't be so quick to move a woman in, or I may not move her in, period. And I'm just going to deal with women for a distance. And if I have a relationship, it's going to be a slow relationship, you know, and if I don't, then I can still be happy, you know. I think that just about sums it up. If I can make a number 3, I will, but I don't think you guys really want to hear number 3. But I hope that covers most bases. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.